Hello everybody. Today we are going to perform an experiment on determination of viscosity of a liquid by Oswald's viscometer. Okay, we are performing this practical under our unit 2, that is rheology. Rheology, we already have discussed that it is the science of flow, that is flow of the liquids. Now, those instruments which are used to determine the viscosity of the liquid are called as viscometers. Okay, so depending on the type of viscometers, there are two types of viscometers: single point viscometer and double, that is multiple point viscometer. So single point viscometers are those viscometers which operate at single rate of shear. They operate at single rate of shear. And multiple point viscometers are those viscometers which operate at wide rate of shear. Now what is this single rate of shear? Single rate of shear we already have studied. Rate of shear is equal to dV by dr. That is change in velocity with respect to the distance. This rate of shear is explained in the law of flow. Law of flow we already have studied in the unit rheology, that there is change in velocity of the liquid with respect to the distance. Now, the viscometers which operate at the single rate of shear are the Oswald's viscometer, which is also called as capillary viscometer, and the second is falling spear viscometer. These operate at the single rate of shear. And multiple viscometers are the rotational viscometers. Rotational viscometers examples are plate and cone viscometer and cup and bob viscometer. Cup and bob viscometer. Cup and bob viscometer, see, in case of these rotational viscometers, these are called as rotational viscometer because here you could see the cone is rotating, as well as in the cup and bob viscometer we can see that the bob is rotating. Okay, so our aim today is to determine the viscosity of a liquid by using the Oswald's viscometer. Okay, so here is the Oswald's viscometer. You could see Oswald's viscometer. Oswald's viscometer is also called as the capillary viscometer. Why is it called as the capillary viscometer? You could see this U-shaped viscometer. Okay, therefore it is also called as a U-tube viscometer because of this U-tube here. You could see the two bulbs. The lower bulb is a wider bulb and the upper bulb is a small bulb as compared to the lower bulb. You could also see the two openings of this viscometer having different diameters. You could see a wide diameter to the opening which has the lower bulb and a small diameter as compared to this. You could see the difference in the diameters. Okay, now also see the lower bulb and the upper bulb. You have to fill the liquid from this end. You have to fill the liquid from this end until the lower bulb is filled. Okay, once the lower bulb is filled, with the help of the tube or the rubber bulb, you have to suck the liquid till the upper bulb is filled. Suppose you have to fill the liquid till this end. Now, to the upper bulb you could see the two linings. Okay, the upper lining is called as lining A and the lower lining is called as the lining B. Okay, so when you suck the liquid, you have to suck the liquid till this level. Okay, and as the liquid passes the line A, immediately you have to start the stop clock. Okay, and note the time in seconds until the water or whatever the liquid is there, until the liquid passes from mark A till mark B. When the liquid reaches this mark B, you have to stop the stop clock. Okay. So this Oswald's viscometer is a single point viscometer which operates at a single rate of shear. Okay, so this Oswald's viscometer, it follows which equation? It follows Poiseuille's equation. Okay, it follows the Poiseuille's equation. This, because of its U shape, it is called as a U-shaped viscometer. Because it operates at a single rate of shear, it is called as a single point viscometer. Okay, so now let us start with the practical. So for the practical, we are going to need a reference liquid, that is the water, and a test liquid whose viscosity we have to determine. We will need the Oswald's viscometer, we will need the rubber ball, and we will need the density bottle. Then we will first determine the density of the water and the test liquid. Okay, so dear students, the capacity of this density bottle is 25 ml. Now I will teach you the density calculations, how to calculate the density for the liquids. Okay. Very first, you have to measure the weight of this empty density bottle. Okay, once you note the weight of the empty density bottle, you have to write down the weight of the empty specific gravity bottle as W1. Okay, W1 is equal to the weight of empty density bottles, okay, in grams. Then you have to fill this density bottle with water or with the test liquid. Okay, first we have to fill this density bottle with water and close the lid. Okay, and again take the weight. The weight will be W2. Okay, W2 grams. Now what you have to do? You have to determine the weight of water. Therefore, you have to reduce the weight of empty specific gravity bottle plus weight of water, that is W2 minus weight of empty specific gravity bottle. Okay, this gives you W3. Okay, that W3 will be the weight of the water, that is mass of the water. We already know the volume of this density bottle is 25 ml. Okay, so the formula for density is equal to mass by volume. Mass is nothing but your W3 reading you have to write here, and volume of the density bottle we already know it is 25 ml. Therefore, whatever the weight will be there, divided by 25 ml. We have to determine the weight of the empty specific gravity bottle. So the weight of this empty specific gravity bottle is 22.8. Okay, so we will write 22.8 grams. Now we have to fill this gravity bottle with the empty specific gravity bottle first with water. So we have to fill this water. We have to fit this cap. The excess of water is displaced. Okay. After that, we have to take the weight of the density bottle filled with water. So the weight is 47.8 grams. 8 grams. Now what you have to do? You have to minus 47.8 grams minus weight of empty specific gravity bottle. That gives you the weight of water. The weight of water is 25 grams. Okay, so our W3 is 25 grams and we know the volume of the bottle is 25 ml. So 25 grams divided by 25 ml. So density of water is equal to 1 gram per ml. We have calculated the density of water. Now again we have to take the density of the test liquid. So we have rinsed this density bottle. We again take the weight of empty density bottle, that is 23.02 grams. 23.02 grams. This is our W1. Now we again fill this density bottle with the test liquid. Density bottle with the test liquid. our test liquid is ethanol. So we have completely filled this density bottle. Now with the help of this cap, we will displace the excess of the test liquid. After wiping the down surface of the density bottle, we will again take the weight of the bottle. Now the weight of the test liquid ethanol plus the weight of density bottle is W2. Our W2 is 42.70 grams. Okay. Now we have to calculate the weight of test liquid. So weight of test liquid is calculated, that is our W3 is calculated as W2 minus W1, that is 40 minus 23.02. So the weight of our test liquid is 0.68 grams. This is the weight that is mass of our test liquid. Now mass by volume, rho is equal to mass by volume. Our mass is 19.68 and our volume is 25 ml. Therefore, the density of the test liquid rho is equal to 19.68 divided by 25. 0.78 is the density of the test liquid. Okay. Now we have the density of the reference liquid, that is water, as well as we have the density of the test liquid ethanol. Okay. So now we have calculated the densities for water as well as the densities for the test liquid. Okay. Now we have to write down the observations. Observation, we have to note the room temperature with the help of the thermometer. We know the viscosity of the water. Viscosity of the water is 1.0012 eta. Viscosity is 21 eta. We have calculated the density of water. We have to write the value. Now, this is the observation table. Okay. With the help of the Ostwald's viscometer, we have to take 3 readings, each of the reference sample and each of the test sample. We have to note the time of flow in seconds. We have to take the mean of all the 3 readings here. Then we have to write the densities of the reference and the test liquid and the viscosity. Okay, we already know the viscosity of water is 1.0016. We have to mount the Ostwald's viscometer. Okay, we have to mount it in this way. Okay, so we have to fill the viscometer from the side which is wider, which is having the glass bulb at the lower end. We are filling it with the reference liquid water. We have to see that the lower bulb is completely filled with water. Okay, this way. You could see the U shape, you could see the capillary. Okay, because of this it is called as a U-tube viscometer as well as the capillary viscometer. You have to fill it up to the mark. Okay, see. Now you have to start the stopwatch when the water passes the mark A, and you have to note the time in seconds until it reaches the mark B. Okay, now we are going to start. See, once it passes the mark A, you have to start the stopwatch. Note the seconds. 1 minute 39 seconds. The first reading is 99 seconds. Similar way, you have to take 2 more readings and then calculate the mean for it. Same way, after water, rinse the viscometer properly. Now, fill the viscometer with the test liquid. Our test liquid is ethanol. Suck the test liquid with the help of the rubber bulb until the liquid travels above the mark A. Now we have to let the liquid to reach the mark A and start the stopwatch immediately. Of any liquid through the Oswald's viscometer depends upon how viscous it is. Now you could see that the test liquid ethanol is taking a bit more time as compared to water. So it has taken 2 minutes 48 seconds. Again take 2 more readings to calculate the mean of the test liquid. And write down the readings in column 2 and 3. Now we have got the time of flow in seconds for the reference liquid, that is water, as well as time of flow in seconds for the test liquid ethanol. We have calculated their means of all the 3 readings. We have already taken the densities. We know the viscosity of the reference liquid water. We have to calculate the viscosity of the test liquid eta. Now, by using the formula which is derived from the Poisson's equation, that is eta 2 is equal to rho 2 into T2 upon rho 1 into T1 upon into eta 1. So, what is rho 2 into T2? So, before that, eta 2 is the viscosity of the test liquid which we have to find out. We don't know the viscosity of the test liquid, okay? But we know the density of the test liquid. What is the density of the test liquid? It is 0.78. We know the time taken to flow. It is 169. We know the rho 1. Rho 1 is 1 into the time taken is 97 seconds into 1.0012. Solving this, we get the viscosity of the test liquid. Solving this, 0.78 into 1.169 is 131.82 divided by 97 into 1.0012. We will answer, write it as 1. Therefore, viscosity of the test liquid 1.3605. Okay, the viscosity is centipoise or poise. Okay, therefore we have to write down as centipoise. The test liquid 1.3605. Okay, so the result will be the viscosity of the test liquid by Ostwald's viscometer was found to be 1.3605 centipoise. So dear students, the precautions you need to follow during the practical is that you have to use clean and a dry viscometer. You have to fix the viscometer vertically on the burette stand. Use a stopwatch for counting the time. The same volume of the liquids should be used. You have to maintain the constant temperature and with the help of the specific gravity bottle determine the densities accurately. Hope you understood this video. Thank you.